Welcome back, Morphing Grid. This is Legacy here. It's Legacy time. Alright guys, now I got another video for you guys talking about Resident Evil 7 again. This time talking about one part of the game that I know some people actually don't know about. When you watch the game, or you play the game in particularly, I mean sometimes you watch the videos of people let's playing and everything, but when you've actually played through the game, you know there's a couple things that are very odd. One, well, the main thing being that there are two videotapes that you watch in the whole game of Clancy. One of him dying and one of him obviously being attacked at the Baker home. Now, what some people don't actually know is what is the full story of Clancy? Well, besides making this little rant video that's obviously going on my PowerRants, which you can follow any of my other channels right here on this channel right now. You'll see them, and you'll see my Patreon somewhere on this, and I'll try to keep it up here as long as possible for you guys. Now, of course, Clancy is a very unique character, where we know the beginning result of him and the end result of him. But he actually takes place after the events that happened with Mia and Zoe at the way beginning of the game. Like, the actual timeline of this is pretty weird. Clancy is actually right before Ethan. So, ironically, if you really want to say who's the real hero that makes it so that Ethan can live, Clancy is definitely the real true hero. Now, I have to speculate that some of this evidence that are in some of these videotapes do not come to light or actually are not known at all until Chris ends up being at the Baker home. That Chris finds some of these VHS tapes and watches them himself. And then obviously that's how some of this information is known to the character. But anyway, I do digress. That obviously we begin with Clancy being the cameraman, recording new stuff and everything for the Sewer Gators. Now, if you played the demo or you played the actual game, you know pretty much the same events do happen. Now, I do want to say that I think the demo does one thing in particular that most people don't seem to realize. That when you're playing as Ethan in the original game, you don't see these hallucinations like you did in the demo. But the demo sets it up perfectly to actually explain to you that Clancy is seeing these in his head. They're not in the actual video itself. They're all in his head. So if you really wanted to, you could actually splice together a couple of scenes from the demo, which I'm going to attempt to do this myself anyway, of him looking in certain areas, this little girl popping up, which is in 7 different spots, and with little effort of effects and everything, make it seem as if it's a real cutscene that's happening, and then she just disappears, like on cue, and of course add sound effects and certain things of that nature, which I will attempt to do just so some people can understand that I do think the demo does a great idea or a great aspect of showing you what happens with Clancy. Now, some people are wondering, who are you playing as in the demo? You are not playing as Clancy at all. You are playing as a placeholder character which has no name, but it is Ethan's model that you are playing as. And the only way I know this is that when you go to kick down the door, you do see the iconic shoes that Ethan has, as well as his pants and his arm. So, with that being said, I do want to say that I think that was an interesting choice in any matter. So it could be somebody else that has in this whole outfit completely. And, of course, him escaping and the, like, cops coming to investigate or whatever is very intriguing. Now, I don't know if it is a canon story, though, but I could definitely say that it might be, because why is there a cop coming to the actual place in Resident Evil 7 game unless events of the demo actually did happen? Which, if the whole illusion of certain people dying in this home and you had to figure out how they died in order to get out, I don't know. That might be interesting to look into, of like, who was this person that did that? if it was Ethan or if it might have been somebody else. Now, I don't know. Some people can dive into that if they really want to. I don't really know how to dive into that whole aspect. Now, I can speculate that it might be Aaron from the end of the game that was talking with Mia. If he didn't actually die and he ends up waking up inside of the Baker home for some unknown reason, like she's trying to torture him, and he figures out all these clues that she's left in order to just get out of the house. Now, if that is true, I think that's very interesting in itself, that they went through all this trouble just to do all this torment to this single guy. Now, besides that, of course, we do know that Clancy somehow is there. He gets familied, he gets punched in the face, he wakes up inside of the home again. This is from the bad ending, but it is actually a true action of events. Because if you look at how Clancy dies, you never know what happens to his friend. So unless you're actually playing as his friend, which it's Aaron or his friend, which if it's his friend that escapes, fine. I understand that. I can agree with that one. I guess that can be up to you guys. You guys say which one is which. Or, and give me the votes on Patreon. Say, I believe it's this guy, I believe it's this guy, whatever. Or set up a whole voting thing for me and cast your votes and send me the link and I'll see who wins on that. Besides that, obviously Clancy wakes up, his friend gets attacked, which his friend gets killed. And I'm going off of this as this is probably the actual canon route. I mean, if you guys want to explain to me who it might actually be you're playing as in the demo, besides obviously the placeholder character being Ethan's model, then I don't know yet. But Clancy sees his friend get attacked, and then he gets attacked by either Mia or by Evelyn. I don't know which one. But then the videotape cuts off. Now, if you cut to the actual footage that's going to be done in the bedroom, which that's him waking up and he's bound to a bed and they're attacking him and he's got to survive the whole event in any regard. He actually then had survived that attack, but that means he's been infected. So he survived it and he's fighting off the infection. He's fighting against Evelyn the whole time. So that's why she's so angry. So yeah, you're doing all that and you hurt Marguerite and you end up going down to the basement. Ergo, here comes Nightmare or Night Terror, whatever you want to call it, where you're down there and you are attacking Jack. Now, of course, attacking Jack is perfectly fine and you can use whatever weapons you want. But I think I've figured out exactly what are the canon weapons that Clancy uses specifically to get through the whole night. Clancy uses two weapons that are specific to, or are pretty much a parody of, Ash from the Evil Dead series. Ash is always wielding a chainsaw and is wielding a double-barrel shotgun. In the very first one, though, he wielded a single-barrel shotgun. And he didn't cut off his hand until the second movie, I believe. But if you go and look through all the weapons of the game, there is one broken shotgun, which is the M21. And then, of course, the circular saw you do not get until you beat the whole game. As you know, the Albert 01R, the replica, you do not get until you beat the game as well. But that gun is specific to DLC, which that DLC, the actual real one, is for Chris. So it makes logical sense that the reason why the gun is broken is because Clancy was using it. And the circular saw can easily be said it's been dismantled by the time that Ethan arrives to the whole plant or the building. So using a combination of both of those, as far as I'm concerned, on like Night Terror at least, or any mode, I don't know which one you would say is more canon to a degree. I mean, because as far as I'm concerned, you'd pretty much to set it up correctly, you pretty much would get the shotgun, you'd get infinite ammo, and then you'd have your whole reciprocal saw. And you'd kill as many regular enemies as you could with the reciprocal saw, and then finally kill every other character you could with the M21. That's with the upgrades and all that fun jazz, and then getting out of the whole basement, which in itself should be pretty interesting to see. But after you get out of the basement, then I mean, but before getting any further into that, I would assume that if you really want to tie it all in together, you could have some scenes where you have Clancy go downstairs, and or you take like Ethan's character, but you have him unequipped. You run him around. You have him grab the scorpion key. You have him go into the room that would be where the compactor is going to be, or whatever. But you have him. But you cut to Clancy getting attacked in the hallway by Jack, like getting headbutted or something, and then you fade to black, or whatever the video transition would be, and then transition back in, and that's how Nightmare would start. Now, the way it ends would be kind of similar, that you, obviously you go upstairs. Now, again, cut to Ethan running up, going around with the scorpion key, opening up the door, and then going through the already completely unlocked door to the outside. Now, with Ethan's case, though, Ethan wouldn't, I mean, not Ethan, Clancy's case, Clancy wouldn't go to the new house. No, 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 no. Clancy would run upstairs, go out, and end up going to where the whole area of, that's the construction area is. That's where he probably would go. Now, whether or not Clancy would get hit by the TV exploding, or just running through and he gets hit by one of the little landmines, I don't know. Because Clancy's supposed to get attacked at some point, taken into a new area to play that sick, twisted game of blackjack, and then be brought back out and stuck back into the same area in order to play his little party game with I can't remember his name right now, with the other Baker, Lucas Baker. And as far as I'm concerned, that is a great storyline, to actually know that Clancy goes from being this average cameraman to almost this great, amazing, epic hero. Like, he battles against all odds to try to get out, and he does lose due to Lucas rigging the whole thing to kill him. But it kind of seems very poetic, considering that there is in all reality, if I'm saying that he is kind of an example of Ash, Ash ends up doing some similar fate to himself by the end of the Evil Within, not Evil Within, by the end of the Evil Dead, Army of Darkness. There's a deleted alternate ending, which is actually the original ending, where he forgets how many sips he took of this little potion. He falls asleep, but wakes up 100 or 200 years past the time he's supposed to, and the whole world is completely destroyed. So, I don't know. It seems kind of interesting, to say the least, that if Clancy died, alright, and more 10 to 1, Clancy did die. Obviously, Clancy died. But whether or not the whole events that happened in the demo actually took place, I have no idea. But it definitely seems as if there was some character you played as in the demo that does escape, that does set the whole cops of going over to the whole Baker home. And that's what sets off Evelyn going through the whole trouble of getting Ethan there to be the whole father of the whole situation. I don't know. It seems very intriguing to me. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little quick video. I'm going to, of course, upload a full video of the actual scenes in sequence of events, as I said, to show you guys exactly what I mean. He does have a very full and coherent storyline. It's going to take me a while to get all of that footage, but it'll be fun. Anyway, guys, this is Legacy here, and I gotta get back to action. See you later, guys. Please support me on Patreon, as well as follow me on Twitter, like my Facebook, and please like and subscribe on my YouTube. Comment and share, and let me know what you guys think. See you later, guys.